Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is John Stevens, the Vice President of Marketing with Shaw Contract. John, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Kemp. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to talk to you. Didn't get a chance to interview anyone from your group during NeoCon. Before we get into the show, just a real quick, we published our June issue recently, and most people know that Shaw Contract is the largest entity in the commercial market space. These are our numbers, but I want to run through them real quick. Our estimate is, if you look at Shaw's total picture, which includes Shaw Contract and Patcraft, you're doing about $920 million in specified carpet and about $1.2 billion overall when you add in Main Street. So by far the largest player in the business. You had about 3% growth last year. So things continue to be moving right along with Shaw in the commercial business.
Yeah, we have continued to grow and continue to expand the market that we're targeting, both in terms of regionally and Shaw Contract really as a global brand. And then certainly as we continue to invest in different product categories, including resilient and others, it's fueled our growth.
Yeah, and I might add those numbers are just U.S. numbers, so even bigger than that when you look globally. So this show, NeoCon, this is the interior finishes show that tries to reach all sectors and focuses on A&D. How do you think this show compared to previous years?
In looking at some of the information I got yesterday from the Merchandise Mart, I think they were estimating 6 to 8% more people registered than even last year. And while sometimes it's hard to be a judge, especially when, for me, I spend most of the time in our showroom with our clients, it was the busiest 2 or 3 days, including Wednesday, that I can remember. And I don't think that was probably isolated to the Shaw Contract showroom and the area on the 10th floor. There was a lot of traffic, there was a lot of energy, and NeoCon continues not only to be drawing clients from across North America, but continues to really be a global entity. And we had clients that we actually brought to Chicago from literally around the globe. So I think the traffic was really high, the energy was high, and I think it certainly reflects a robust commercial interiors market.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I saw more Asians walking the hallways than I'd seen in previous years. So I would say my take is that this is probably the best year we've seen at NeoCon since 2006.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that.
And, the Mart spent $40 million in several areas, enhancing not only the entranceway, but also these elevators. The elevators have always been a factor for judging traffic and how long are the lines, but they've actually improved the elevators, and there's still issues with the elevators. So, that speaks for the traffic, I believe.
Well, I think it does, and I think we did, and I think our clients did, and the industry felt the improvements in the physical space. Certainly the people at the Mart not only, obviously didn't do it just for NeoCon and the major tenants that they've acquired, as the usage of the real estate in the Mart continues to evolve. But I think certainly the experience at NeoCon with the entranceway, with the really the magnificent stairway that they did becomes a gathering space, with the improvement in amenities in the building. We appreciate the investment that they've made as it relates to the experience our clients have when they spend 3 days with us in Chicago.
Now, the trick here is, because especially for like Shaw, you have permanent showrooms. That's expensive real estate. The trick is to have a show where you actually can impact the target audience. So were you having good meetings with specifiers, A&D people?
Well, yeah, we definitely were, and Kemp, as you said, I think NeoCon is really focused on the design community, but there's a ton of clients there, too, who are oftentimes with their architect or designer working on a project. So for us, we're able to really communicate and connect to our clients, both designers and end-use clients from around the globe in the space. And we had some interesting things that we were talking about beyond just traditional flooring conversations that really related to what our clients are interested in as technology evolves and as issues related to workplace, organizational development and workplace. Those were the things that I think really made it a very rich experience for us and our clients at NeoCon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might add, too, that commercial contractors, the Fuse Alliance and StarNets, they were there in force as well. So.
Oh, no, they're obviously very important to our business, and we're thrilled to be able to spend some time with them in Chicago.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk. You won a silver award in the broadloom category for a product called Modern Edit. And I might add real quick as we talk about this, if somebody wants to see what you had going on at the show, you have an excellent portal at shawcontract.com NeoCon. and you can actually walk in through your space and see these products we're talking about. But tell us why you think this Modern Edit won a silver broadloom.
Well, I think Modern Edit is really, I think it does two things effectively. One, it shows how we're thinking holistically about the floor, right? So the collection has tile, broadloom, resilient. It has custom printed carpet for the hospitality sector. So taking an idea like Modern Edit and applying it in multiple materials for multiple kinds of spaces. For the broadloom specifically, we're seeing a lot of clients think about hospitality and residential influence in the corporate workplace. And as some of what were tech startups begin to grow up and begin to think differently about the kind of facility and interior space they want, they're asking us different questions about materials. And Modern Edit, I think, was a really interesting response to that. So it certainly has the performance that you look for corporate workplace in broadloom, but has that sense of residential and hospitality influence that really, I believe, is on target to what our clients are looking for and what they're trying to do in spaces today.
Mm-hmm. Now, how long is your run, your record? I mean, as far as winning some of these Best of NeoCon awards, you've got 13 or 14 in a row almost, don't you?
I'm blessed to work with an amazingly talented design team, and we have had tremendous reception at NeoCon, not only from juries who recognize the work, but also really importantly from our customers. And so we've had a bunch of Best of NeoCon awards. I think it just reinforces to our clients and our internal team that for Shaw Contract design is first and foremost what we focus on. It's really part of our DNA, and we're honored when that gets recognized by the juries at NeoCon.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm talking to you, but usually I talk to Reese Duncan. She's the quarterback on a lot of this design. Before we run out of time, just a couple more I want to talk about, just to throw them out real quick. There was a lot of conversation around Extraordinary, because there's a lot of talk about the workspace needing to look a little bit like what you see at home, mm-hmm. and the blurring of lines between work and home, and you had some shag in that, and that was kind of interesting. And you also had one that some people might love, some people might think it's a little bold, but it was the hexagonal format, the Configure collections.
Yeah, so Extraordinary, you're right. I mean, it was an exploration of texture. There was 3 modular products, and one of them that was really foundational, sort of a flat but really beautiful shade product. And then you stepped up to another texture that was slubby and nubby and really exaggerated, and then finally to the most exaggerated expression of the idea, which was our take on a shag. And it had varied textures and really was interesting. And the response to that was pretty amazing. And I think clients are looking for defining spaces differently, bringing in different textures and materials into corporate workplace, and the response to that was really fantastic. And then for Configure, we launched the hexagonal format 3 years ago, and it's been extremely successful. And this was another take on that. It was taking the hexagonal shape, but then begin to abstract it on the floor and create this new geometry in interesting ways. So all 3 of those were extremely different, but the wide expression of what's happening in design and how that relates to the floor and how we're continuing to push design as a brand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congratulations on a great performance at this show. Again, thanks for spending time with our listeners. Again, been talking to John Stevens, the Vice President of Marketing with Shaw Contract, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.